This is Air Force 2 TV.
Na yentimi mfa list no so nye den enko to aba na mani nyeye it is broni beka say it's much about do about nothing bibie ni wa na say do for camp na erezi as a matter of concern say jama list no kwakoye ma obi ntimi nto aba na say den and all of that now here. So it is also not true that a delegate was going to be disenfranchised. All delegates, including Dr. Dufour's camp, knew delegates were going to vote with their voter ID cards, and that propaganda was completely false. As any knew. Enti enhwehwemu aye no so kire say sa register no so long as obia din ewo mu no dia na eye ehyenkran ne say obia oba beto naba sa Saturday no or the voter ID card no ena or the babeto. So now listen, see aye list no Kwaku midin wa ha me ba be cast me vote me guta me voter ID card o voter ID card no eno na be kire say ampa wudin ena ewo ho enti say e ba ye ena e be hwe ena enye ni midin na ewo ho a per the ID card na e be beto no the ID card no e be prove say ye the edin foforo any the ababe register no or otherwise say ye the edin foforo bi kwa na abehihye and the ID card no which is the national authenticated offense voter ID card no and I say whatever no and ebechire bibia enti under no circumstance biara and obi beka say o sa concerns na Dr. Dufour and Nkrofo no raise here anything to go by, and that it was going to disenfranchise hundreds of people that very Saturday. No, ni na no be we say a propaganda bi and na enipa bi o mankasa wa NDC no e pese o mo yes admit o na no be say Ifrahim and he say mu tie mi ya e ma ade bi e beda ho say ya allegation ye dia bo nipakuo ya mabobo mu din e do mo pictures a kire we kire say dia na e koso no from the camp of Kwaku Dufour, there was something in the making. But then again and again, it was also much about do about nothing. But to be person how akumiasane bino no. Nevertheless, after the dust had settled and Dr. Dufour had withdrawn his court injunction and getting ready to do battle in less than 24 hours, he took yet another nosedive, finally pull out from the race, citing a number of challenges as roadblocks and setbacks, militating against his inability to continue to be in the race. Asem we made done make catch them which I said. Ebra womo excite sa ye can say register no near 177 no. Do mo kan ya ne say entianuti womo de kokor. Na chese ne won say womo discussing same way e NDC party no. NDC mpanyimfo na ehwe na o magye asem de sie ne before the very eye of the NDC functionalism. Na Dr. Dufour no ko from there. Pa no mo ekosiki court injunctions. Enum ye didimu a de copy and it's okay. Dr. Dufour and Nkrofo no have accepted to, as it were, to go along with it. Say, oh, nyahwe, womo base it. And no man so mo court injunction no, womo ye den, womo ese, womo ekwa corridor court injunction. Mo corridor court injunction no, na de ba asem biom and the dapono so. Ebusiafo. In less than 24 hours to the polls, Dr. Dufour esan ba onten ebe state say afikra de reason on na join ko akensi ni bi. At the end of Dr. Dufour at the buyer as ni reasons say on fanko offense raise ni bi. Dr. Dufour e pa kire say eni me bi esisi ndi kwan and eni me bi nkoye nti and o eden or redraw a free reason. Now obi be say nti one we take you one step off. So step now will take you, and it was much about do about nothing. By yourself, what about Montaigne, Abejatum Safi, Macquarie draw the court injunction. And see a yenye ready ni yanko. Hey, what kriya was here about Montaigne? We say, hey, I feel glad them and nan copy. A random, as some no more same. But some do for air patchana. take a listen to Dr. Dufo. Abra, if you don't want to buy it, or see, assemble, and as a reason on that uncontested for that presidential slot and how Dufo put it to Ghanaians and the NDC. Take a listen to him.
Nationwide, I have been left with no choice but to withdraw from the presidential election, as I cannot contest the election, which is blatantly fraught with irregularities, regardless of all my efforts to draw attention to save.
Great. What is now here? Said, but the question remains: could this be a genuine excuse to exit the polls? The Hub TV can place more emphasis that this is not a genuine excuse. Another intriguing part of this rendezvous was Dr. Dufour's son seeking to have the mandates from the people of Setre, Afram Plains, through same register. Now, Obi Bisase, sa exit na, sharp exit no, Dufour a year no. The question ye a kwanda honsa, by yen Hot TV, you believe it's a kwanda hon. You know, can it be a genuine excuse? I am saying it's genuine. A dear ben parenting Dr. Dufour at the last minute, 11th hour, decided to take a nosedive. Said, "See, minkobi." Na ne one said, "Say you be kwachi yechi, na ye jina de Dufour kan me say because of register one." Hey, you run rao. But the same register and Dr. Dufour ne bano all Kwaku jina a Setre Afram Plains say yen to no swaba with the same register. And to make us a for mu koya na mobile. So under what circumstance that would Dr. Dufour taking steps way into all of this we are rendezvous and also to be seen to be that of a credible candidate and someone who want to lead the National Democratic Congress and for that matter become the president of this republic. These are the crux of the issue and then minimum the post-election analysis for the National Democratic Congress to look into all of this. And the Ghana of what Moshe program way and they said, no, we think that Dr. Dufour and you may be an address we who ye one channel so now so ye beka say e you no do for the fault and na enya the fault me dem okono me da bibi di akere ne ba no e siki power o ono ne ba no Dr. Dufour e siki power na ne ba no so e den eno so e siki the mandates of Setre Afram Plains. And what happened? He lost. Indeed, his loss come at the back of family feud, which allow an outsider to come for the seat. Alright? Nebano Oluziye. Ediye nema nebano Oluziye. Call it a family feud. And I do it now by. Ma ebusiankua mwamuwoho. Because Honorable Adumakua ono okuta saa seat no. Oyo Dr. Dufour no ni hunipa oyo ni busuani. Eti e ba ne sei eno Dufour ebema kwan se ne ba enkonko contest eye Honorable Adomako wo kwan be nsintia e die be na ba ya Dr. Dufour ehun say it is more politically prudent, but this one I just have to put it. Dr. Dufour said this was clearly politically incorrect to have urge Nebano to go and contest that seat. No, absolutely politically incorrect. Now, our family feud way and a man outsider who free chia na pa and wabe pick it akumediko. We know say yes, such a from place no. Oba how fans say haji of my any winning. Mokoya na mobile. So look at what Dr. Kwaku Dufour out of what yentiminka any adekwa etimi edge wom emu take that political stand no. Finally baby edo mkokowie. Meanwhile, Dr. Dufour was confident that his son was going to win the contest. Again, a shame in many who said no. Nebano Junior, Dufour Junior, was just going to win such a fan places. Is that how things turn up to be? And how? What made Dufour to have that courage, to have that confidence? This is how he puts it, say, Nebano, take a listen to Dufour.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Honorable, you sound so confident. You sound so confident that Dufour Jr. is winning.
He is winning. Hands down. Okay. Excuse me. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Honorable, you sound so confident. You sound so confident that Dufour Jr. is winning.
He is winning. Hands down. Okay. Excuse me.
God. By Yembisa, Ura Dufour said, into we are or catch a journalist and say, yes, my son is going to win. Nebano winning, the DNT and the Banons way winning. The same register no more come wasem. As our same register and one and a banner, one more than two Abama and a banner Louisiana. Nyoma win politicians more yen here catch them one. Mosemon Tim was say, all because at that material moment, BB Air Koswa, Sardino Esum Christ said, no, we can go on this tangent. But then before you realize, now name me Guaponte. This is what happened to Dufour and in the Busia 4. This situation obviously reduces Dr. Dufour's chances and political preponderance in the National Democratic Congress going forward, now as a political technocrat. Says here, I can say, so share Dr. Dufour, the chances ever the National Democratic Congress in one, Tumia or what ever party anymore, influencer or what ever party anymore. You don't need a soothsayer or a journalist to tell you this. No. Dr. Dufour has lost it. It doesn't matter since John Mahama and the leader of the party and John Mahama ever friend on that transition. But then, before this day, in Myanmar, Dr. Dufour na owo ewo party anymore. To me, the command, the preponderance are a crown. Oh, to me, Obetimaka said, hey, Assembia ba into what fresh something in front of party, some Momrami and Transana. Sani Melina, he lost it. Now, baby says, we, if him, a banner saying, and the Dufour, a jump here into this presidential slot. Now, the Hot TV want to throw some questions to Dr. Dufour. The person didn't say me to Oma Dr. Dufour, ma, on the camp, no. One address our questions he said, first, is he not surprised that he jumped into the race to contest the presidential slot? The ministers already before into a one sample no one no one say all Kwaku contested for presidential slot. No one one. The American folks are here with me. Me believe say also one before no humpo a yen one say all Kwaku did metisa. Yes. That's the fact. And so one can say no humpo yen one say all Kwaku did say metisa. They are to me. Who gave him this ill advice? Why not two Dr. Dufour for say if to bonnet to say why not two no for say uncle not say a drumewe or call best succeed. Why not yes I did. They are to me answer. I feel let's zero down. Zero down to the campaign and ask how many communities, villages, districts and regions did Dr. Kwaku Dufour visit during his tour? We can say he did poorly across the above mentioned. Period. Yes, I am Misa. Say Dr. Dufour Abraham Omoye campaign. Our presidential candidate here or no Dr. Dufour Kojobunzu, former President Mahama, Omobo Apron. Can say mensimu dodo sign and the Dufour to me visit here. And Krasia dodo sign and to me visit here. I feel ekro emu dodo sen and go to me visit here. Ashanti region, Northern region, Upper East West, any Hunkeka, emu dodo sen and a Dr. Dufo to me koya. Ghana for any NDC for your trust me assessment. And the camp of Dufo and yes assessment in Amofa Assembly. This is what the Hawk TV want to do on this post-election analysis for the NDC. We believe that Dr. Dufo won. We also believe that somebody gave an ill advice to Dr. Dufo straight away. No, you see, and the credible one they be a meka music kumanonye. Mama Ghana no nkoye to say on my na yefo. Na science na beba no esan say enipa mo beba ye beto mo so aba no. Ha? Dia na enwo no say obia sorry any dick and tom and harry bia ba. Wasn't person be di o man so. But as I say we didn't can hwe ho say yes, constitutionally me Kwaku amigire. Ha? Me say age na medrun me say metimi a contest man aye. But the question remain, what? Ma checking me who said me fit into all the status quos match. I said me who said a dear pa na bema etimi aton me. O man dem la na de kyerese ubetimi adi but bisa who said a dear na ubetimi gina so na wo de aton ho ama Ghana for aiden ato wo ne ama kwan se bra na bedi o men so. Na chenye bibia Dr. Dufo abeye a governor of Bank of Ghana. Wabeye finance minister. And no let you know about a private capacity no. Dr. Dufo be no be brave. Saying menume na Ghana for woman or moye mudma. And then a chin see. Wabo brandy be a fine. Ni credit wa monka cham penny for. And the credit wa monka. Papa wa ye juma. Enti every way baby or war on any ma or moye mudma. The entire Dufo be ya say obeba be a council of elder. Ama fencing. One of the more kind of simple. One of the council of elders. Ama the National Democratic Congress or THA. Now do you see ka ebwa a bracemo we yenye say far because Dr. Dufo is in fear saying 80 years if I'm right. Now sub-7 previous. One more eba umuni 80 krane and ukwe huni saying and Dr. Dufo 77 previous. The nanko kumu na ba be hihimu ano. So say usha the tebiam bebia gogo wayemre. Eye no kure wayemre. Na esese nipa bi so tumi kache owura Dufo say hey kwabna e bia wo koi hotro. Na esese nipa bi wo nebusuem won tumi kache Dr. Dufo say Dr. Dufo eh kwabna Dufo bebia wo kono hotro. Na wanga say wo kure wa honde mpo no ye bonto no kra na ye gene sen. And an 80-year-old man. Me kase say we be 80 years and no, me papa here about 85 years. But then, a drummer, my dad as an engineer, why ye drummer for how many years were about Jim? And on just 85 years still are under Sunyedma. Nyankopon shisha to us as our time and say nipa uba Jim. Into a one casampu ne drummer. A star assurance in other group of companies that you do for them. Me assure so no do for Krenumpono, wa resign every swa or tifia and net advisors and they share a running numini na normal report. How much more? Dr. could not do for ever jail whole Ghana is nice. Now imagine the pressure, imagine the struggle, imagine all there is to. No, sir, Minister A, Minister B, Obi Ayende Juma, 16 regional capitals. Ni na anniversary of the before say, Masa. Yenyan your masa. Obi Beka say, okay, why not? Nche wo share baby to say America. Because Matisa sa analysis na because America. Yenhwe obi to say Joe Biden. Joe Biden ni free and ekre. Me can Joe Biden rather as wo Jinewu. But the point is that when Timi fa Ghana to talk America home ani. Do you know why? On my American see your maya. Now let me tell you guys and listen carefully. And there are two ways. With or without. With or without. Joe Biden. America betting running continuously 4 years without a president. Do you know that? And the reason is very simple. Because this is a country. Institutions. Agencies and all put together ni nano ya hihye si ho pepepepe obi eye na dwuma pepepepe without any blemish. Me say obia eye den, I mean they call it very stupendous practices of governance system, very impeccable. All right, you cannot just say at the flip side of say absolutely inconceivable how the systems run in the United States. Nenya American kwa yente ha or ewiase ha Britain for yet one a British Prime Minister or resigning or coin. It was how many days, weeks? Not Britain for Yancy Prime Minister, yet not Britain and running. And Britain creates way or may way. One more what Britain be catch Britain bet me I see any Prime Minister for the whole year and the country will run. Sani a teacher mine. Enti yenya hay so enti yenya hay your governance and democratic system ni nano e physique e ya honden adwuma. Enti Dr. Dufo na to oba beji den wo agro. Very serious. This means some group of persons misled Dr. Dufour into this Alice of Wonderland, or if you like, a virgin territory, reducing his image and personality to nothing except to describe it like a rag to mop the floor. Ora Dufour, make me say nipebi, and omojiji ni yodium tata sa na mde kudru. Sa inimguase biana omde kugu papa. And we reduce you to saying, I had to say sub-7 strides and to my go, yeah, they better perform, and that's not too good enough. Now, one of us advise Papa was our community as a so ready for, or man need down no ya or assembly or winner, no show when him no catch him some way with you for. No, yes, sir. A yadia na enya de papa, na ye be come a crenso achiro. Ora do for you nyam for where oyura wa be ni twuma kama so kwagina home enye sa bi na de ne begina si pe baby aga ni dru no mu enye sa trial lock ni mesa ni asma hama kana asim se enye experiment ni ye ba be you enne ya me ne mu kase NPP for the enemy the better later, but you see we need someone with a bit of force, energy to get the job done in a way and manner. At the end of the day, no omani hi obia waye krado. Obia energy e wonimu. Obia onim de ye babe. Yes, 4-year tenure, but 4 years no. Ade be chibia ni emu asem. Ade be chibia no na emu akwensidie enkokohwe ase ne kodanda. Owura dufo bibi wedru no. Sento wo tenefie na ye ma na konwa baabi mo tena so njo o tene wheelchair mu a ehim koba se ya na ne nananam egu no honam ne ade a na dufo na wo hwe na wo mo eba be unity na o mo yin di o mo num ne ade ne bia hye o metie se na obi ka se onu nti amari o mo boy ne munyai sa enye fe yo mo na na boy din deda and then to me na say onu amari o mo boy onu ni ti dia go so kama dark, very dark, natural enye yo mo from cho munyai sa yet nice. Some way to force her. One show you more. A Jumanana no is over, but as I said, near Jan more option and an hour for. Meaning we said before an hour for we print. Need the or take chair or them a damn woe, nature and him say. Him sa na watiti wo ho na wabo weedin kwabna banie kwado banie ama banie no mu didi agro manya na sa mu peja na mu say hey Dr. Dufo yeko Ghana elect ye come work di Ghana in NDC in as a presidential candidate. Ade amoye eye amode papa na ko enso hwemusa. Well, in Tamale, the elections was also glamoured with some sights and sounds. As a musician, pull thrills at former President Dramani Mahama and some other members of the National Democratic Congress. Yes, Tamale so ohona Mahama koto naba na nekwasemi musicians being so baya or also nekwasem wobe shower praises and worship edema Ura Mahama and NDC Beninphobia woman so mo ho am ye sure some more Yeah, what's out to him? You who said the nominacy quip. I'm yin for the nature, Nasha Hawa, or Hosus sight and sounds on the C3 for Mahama and those functionaries in the NDC. Take a listen to this.
To makana, go to Fatibai, Kwam Kutoda, Mana Kutoda, Yellow Kutoda, John Makana, the Makana, Kutoda, Yellow Kutoda, Komtata, Samia Malwolo, Joe Mama, to do Makana, go to Fatibai, Kwam Kutoda. Mana kutoda, yellow kutoda, John Makana, the Makana,
Great. At the darkest parts of the nights of elections on Saturday, elections were almost over, coupled with MPs who survived and those who lost it, including flag bearer-elect, were already known to the officials of the National Democratic Congress and the Electoral Commission officials. Yes. It was for the American natural say. So wo hwe mu Saturday no a na chese na ade asayi a yakọ esun wankasa somewhere around there 2 a.m. Yes, in na 9. Na around that time no na chese abane yen 2 year there though, but na the National Democratic Congress officials any Electoral Commission officials no me nani nipa won wetin kunim including Nipa NDC for no electing is Omra na Omra medi womanim. Enti eno no mbe yes announcement. Before close of night, leading functionaries of the party led by General Secretary Fifi Fiave Kwete and Johnson Asidin Ketia aka Mosquito respectively gave a resounding speech to party faithfuls. Womo sa nipa mienu a omyem penimfo a Yebekasa party ni si omna so the General Secretary Fifi Fiave Kwete at the speech kese ebema NDC faithfuls no say omutumi say sam kunimdie we a aba no enkunimdie a ema party ni gina na so na omo akọ omunimi sapre mayenti the Fifi Kwete e ka kire NDC faithfuls no on that very night na elections na around the happen. Take a listen to Fifi.
The psyche, the fabric of Ghana has been totally brought down. We are at the lowest level on our knees, economically, politically, culturally, and at all levels. We have chosen again 15th of May to start a flame that I believe is going to bring again the rebuilding of this country. And this time, to rebuild it for good. What I want to say is that we expect that the courage that was brought about on that day of May 15 will be the courage that we will take into the battle 2024. The selflessness that was brought about on that day of May 15 will be the selflessness that will guide our battle into 2024. Every single one of us, whether you are going to be a polling agent, whether you are going to be a branch executive or executive at the constituency level, at the regional level, at the national level, or every aspect of our party, we expect the courage, selflessness, love for party, love for nation should be the pillars on which we stand. And once we can stand on these principles, there is no way the battle ahead of us, which is a battle for the very of our country, cannot be won.
And the way and a fifi a catcher NDC faithfuls. And one so the General Mosquito himself, of course, General Sidin Kitia, and so in the last speech and so better at that material moment in the letter said it was the processor transition was taking off, in the sense that said yen to abano one on a party needs so but ye two abani re and kwa dia electoral commission eba NDC headquarters ebe announcement that say a transition has taken place by way of say political and power and control in the NDC as an opposition party. Ne free as you doing Kitty and Sam, I then echo the flag bearer elects former President John Dramani Mahama, and this is how General Mosquito puts in a statement to the NDC faithfuls. Take a listen to him.
44 years ago started the political journey of a man who was destined to be 3 times the President of the Republic of Ghana. And that was President Jerry John Rawlings. I have heard it being said throughout this campaign that somehow there is no history of any president who has sworn with our state source 3 times. Maybe they haven't learned the history properly. Because President Rawlings swore to the nation 3 times. First, as a chairman of AFRC. Second, as a chairman of PNDC. And the third, as the elected president of the Republic of Ghana. We never chose this day consciously, May 15. It just happened that today we are repeating history in another form. President Mahama is going to be the second president to swear to this nation for the 3rd time before he leaves.
Great. Finally, the flag bearer-elect John Dramani Mahama, in his acceptance speech, told party faithfuls to get ready to work hard to wrestle power from the governing party, NPP. Na ninano enkwesino John Dramani Mahama flag bearer elect amfensi ho afi John Mahama ejina University of Development Studies na asemkesi ode to homa NDC for no kire se everyway ena wo mo esese wo mo ye adwumaden na se adwumaden no wo no mo etimi yeden ehu se wo mo eba beji tumi efri MPP for no ensem ora John Mahama etoko so se MPP for no yeden wo mo enyeden Emma wo resignate cancer wo handle over notes kase ni muni na so no omayeti asese sa fencing Professor Frimpong Watson ne fence explosive reports no dey aba se na ban ne ba one mo be investigate sa asemo ebra me ne mo kase ye betimi aka ne se Professor Frimpong Watson currently special prosecutor on any di ensawoso Emma sa ensawoso no ni di no ekopie se report no munsem special prosecutor no eseso wo hwe na fi obi ese mo be kai se sa report yamamo part 1 aka part 2 ye de bebrem but then hu be hia se ye be mamo NDC post primaries no se de ekobia but special prosecutor no ene from Pongwatin 18 se wo so sa galamse yasam de ewura no enya de ebegya mu sa o na me ya show self dodo na susuzu mutie se Monday, Tuesday, you see, first galamsey has been so trapped. I will bring home baby, sir. Moshe as I see a miensa ewu. Emaka since 17 a year pedo maba. Make away be an gun of workers a quick could remove me. But Sanya I see a jar more Moshe, and sense because more ha Ghana, more has I see Ghana Brio. Went to form what's unim municipal chief executive no all class onim pose bibisa air koso and a police for no within the belts of Kwaku and the brave no so class we munim say bibisa ko and so e ba na say who say bibi koso. It was when some ranty were trapped underground who say hey sana galamsey koso. To what extent na mo be disturb Ghana's waters? Well, finally this is what former President Mahama, flag bearer elect, told the NDC for the University of Development Studies about the power, pressure, and then the comeback, and Nioma or Babeye, or say the new patriotic party, the governing party, or say Moya Day, Monshasi, na Muma hand over note. Na Mobe hand over notes in a dear. Send them Mahama Pachre. Take a listen to him.
The people have an opportunity to make a change at the next election. Clearly, the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia NPP administration has failed to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian people, and they must prepare to bow out at the next election. And they must start preparing their handing over notes and get ready to account to the people of Ghana for their stewardship. Yes, there is hope for our country. I firmly believe in our collective ability as a party to lead a transformation agenda that restores decent values, revives youthful aspirations and ambitions. Ours will be a progressive government that provides equal opportunities for decent and sustainable livelihoods. I'm convinced that by working together with Ghanaians, we shall turn Ghana's hopelessness and gloom today into a better and brighter tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me dwell a bit on the distractive elephant in the room, which is the economy. Literally and figuratively, the government's economic management team has displayed grave incompetence, mismanaged Ghana's economy, and inflicted severe hardships on Ghanaians, including the elderly and the young. Ghanaians now know the address of the so-called solid economic management team, in quotes. The chairman and members of this economic management team have become the butt of jokes in people's homes, in the marketplaces, in restaurants, on social media, and on the airwaves because of their misguided commentaries both in opposition and government. As a leader, your word should always be truthful. It should be sincere and honest. It should count for something. If you are not truthful, you lose the trust of the people. Prices of goods and services continue to see extreme increases with devastating effects on the livelihood of Ghanaians. The price trends reflect the inflationary increase from 15.4% in December 2016 to over 40% presently. Unfortunately, as inflation rises, employment has not improved but has worsened. The growth rate of the agricultural sector, which was 2.7% in 20...
You see, this is what former President Mahama, Eden Asemno, or the two Homa, the governing party NPP, or some way then, more handy over more notes. Or the more baby see quite now, my name said the more here and I don't want to know. But Adebisu Sia also didn't glamour the Congress that the NDC you must condemn this, of course, and also ACO Ejura Setre Udumasi Mami Juliana K Wasan Adebia or I know say the top hierarchy, and I say the hierarchy of the NDC for no Musumuni, because then it was all over the wires at the NDC one. Of course, this Mami we American Assembly, she lost the seat to Mohammed Bawa Brahima. Nina said this woman was openly, just all flag, all spray, sika, egum, krofoso. The reasons for doing this we don't know. But so we share video no ubebi say I didn't know many years and I kind of figure I believe say even the functionaries of the NDC were not happy with this, and we have heard from a kind of rebel say one more episode more trim so for Sadena or Yena, and it's not really good at all. Take a look of that video and also PA on most of the wires and also at the time of said elections was in a high gear na onu di ojina kai mu a watch sika say wenye bie sika ni bie and I just watch it. Take a listen to this. And I believe, say, the NDC must take a punitive action and a measure on this. Say, be able to sanitize it system. Now, Ghana for finally on the NDC Congress, as we've just done the post-election analysis of. This is our editorial on this whole elections, folks. I think so there is something that we need to put out clear. Say, we are very much happy for the NDC for a successful Congress to begin with. And again, we can also say that prior to the Congress, there were bits and pieces of information coming, and it looks as though, or does appear that the NDC were not going to do it right. But those of us who have followed the politicking of this country for almost well over 30 years, we knew the NDC and how they were going to do it. So we know, say, now, and Yamano be Brennan on the scale of 1 to 100, about 90% the NDC would have to do it. Again, so we'll share from another perspective as well. Now, it doesn't also look as if you need to be a political scientist and as a pollster to know that former President John Dramani Mahama was obviously at the door going for glory, because analysis plus or minus, he remained the only person in the NDC as of now. Again, also a former president, Kwaku Annan, and who understands the terrain, the political terrain, and all there is to it. NDC4 cannot and will not and may not, unimpeachable mistake to say that taking cognizance to that of the three candidates, that of Kojo Bonsu and what you call Dr. Dufour, again without any blemish to them. But then Mahama stand tall among the three, and that's obvious. Kojo Bonsu is a very nice guy, did quite a lot in Ashanti region and still remain, in that line as far as the Ashanti region are concerned. But at the very prevailing circumstances on the roadmap of NDC to go for glory in 2024, if there is naturally said, the NDC will not and cannot risk to bring any other candidate to do the magic except to bring John Mahama. And of course, if you also do analysis on the ground across the street, this is unscientific. A lot more Ghanaians and even in the NDC will tell you that we prefer John Mahama come to lead us 2024 to take power. And not just say for the NDC to risk losing Mahama to that of Dr. Dufour or Kojo Bonsu, and that we must make that clear. Again, we also commend the NDC, for taking the exercise so smoothly and with respect to all the court injunctions and as if we smoothly. The exercise itself, as the Hawk TV we monitor across the nation, and also very smooth. Just say, with a few infractions, idea, which of course is one of those. We take, with the exception of that, we have to congratulate all the parliamentary MPs elect in Nano, so your board members, especially Jata himself, was the name Ningo Pram Pram. Sam George did a great job. Yeah, Sam George. At the point, may I admire Sam George for once a while we fight our own stuff, but of course Sam George did extremely well, pulled the numbers this time, quite unprecedented. The margin was extremely, balloon. And again, also the incessant pressure puts in the fight of LGBTQ. I believe we need such people back in Parliament. I think also say Haruna, yes, Ubianim say no-go area did so well, and all of them, we congratulate all the MPs. And again, let me say quickly this: Mutaka also did well. I know that there were a lot of forces, that marshal, that huge preponderance to dislocate or decapitate the move. So there were some. That's undeniable, absolutely inconceivable. Say, there was some kind of force to decapitate Mutaka from that seat, but that's, I believe, is a strong acrimony in Asawasi that the NDC cannot lose a sight of that. They need to quickly work it out to ensure that constituency, which of course remain the only powerful constituency in Ashanti region that tilts towards the NDC. The NDC, as I know, with their political proclivity to which they can align up and bring that seat, to bear, so they can line up quickly and increase their number, not necessarily looking at it in the eye of Mutaka and the persona. He personified something, but be that as it may, Enyoma Koye for Mutaka. And I think that it was also against the back of the reshuffle, of course, of Parliament where group Nibi Brain, and I said the leading members on the bench of NDC were not too happy, and that acrimony continued to deepen until say Yato Abeiri. Now I personally have heard Mutaka say that Watuni Nego is the backbench or the Gunechi. So going forward, the NDC can look at it from that fourth line and then move ahead to go for glory, if that is going to be their hallmarker. And no ebetimi abwa NDC for. I think one member of parliament in so Luzu Nisita Ehadmi ABA Fuseni is a very personal friend, he's a very good friend of mine. Suhini Sunyane, a good one. I think it's ABA Fuseni, the man of Proverbs. Ne baby or bukra then a baby or bubu ne testicles, it sounds good. But ABA Fuseni, I think that lost it for some reason. I think that one thing we can say is that precipitating the lost was also the numbers. I call contesting seat, obviously broke the pressure. It reduces the pressure. Emma into split of numbers, into Nyankwama ABA Fuseni, and that is a loss to the NDC. We believe that going forward, the NDC will put all together. ABA Fuseni lost, is a pain to all of us. Now, quickly before I am done with the ABA Fuseni's issue, one or two bits of Proverbs and or table was a quick one. I said, when a lion is fond of patronizing the market, it will be treated like a puppy. My brother, tattered clothes are better than nakedness. A man who has died in the market needs no announcement for his funeral. ABA Fuseni. And I'm sure, going forward, we're going to hear some of these proverbs loud and clear in other circles. One thing also looks clear is that former President John Dramani Mahama and flag bearer elect has also announced to the NDC said all members of Parliament or Muluzi Enina or no Mubeye meeting, including Dr. Dufo Nenekam. And see, me believe said going for that should be, and that's a remarkable sign of a great leader. Say Obe Bobo Domina no not just a Mutusano Gitrada Namako Kwaku Annan no Abwa So we here at the Hub TV, we are happy for the NDC and for this great, remarkable, exemplary order lines that cannot pass unnoticed. And so we commend them for this. Now, we are here waiting for the new patriotic party, the governing party, and say, Monso, November, Mubeyi mu flag bearer. Yenim Sebeye Allen Kwaku Annan, ana ebeye Vice President Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, ana ebeye Miami Penny Kwame Japan. Mubia Mubeyi bia na muyi ni wiese pe. Se muyi mo candidate no a ewura no aha ne hiame no. Se moyi mo candidate ni wia en obi kan o se mechewa se moyi mo candidate ni wia oho en agro no e ba be so oho ni ebedi agro no. And that's where we're going to do comprehensive critical analysis, perspectives, permutation, and how the election 2024 will go. Because oho ye be analysis in order to make an informed choice. You better analysis in order to make an informed decision as to who become the president of this republic. But then again, let me give the MPP advice on this call. Yeye Mahame wie ya me amadam for Richard Anyagba. One shot a watwa to her and say, oh Mahama no me Mahama sounds then unconvincing. Let me advise the MPP. Another thing so MPP for and so more year and they say, oh, na near him say, and then they meet here radio crowd. We say, the Mahama of old, Mahama of this. Say, Mahumo Masoni Yaria, Mamu Yaria, Itumu for Montinu. Now, guess what? Into Mumu campaign, and I say, NDC for Kuyi Mahama. Campaign a Muyama Ghana for Nama Ghana for who say, oh, Mahama, or an old person. And a Mahama why be dancing a dear ben or babe. But Mummy some who say, Nasana Mutini we are say come as him. And we are saying, or no abe yebi. And what about Biumo say, mistake I may no this time, maybe me yes I mistake living. And here the fair shot. 2. Or say a dear way, maybe this is the way I am going to do it and moving forward. This is the direction. 3. Mummy some who say, and tomorrow more policy and direction in actually say. So be young from Swa, no I am from Sweden. Sandy Pani needs second chance. Hey, really? Other than that, then I could for the need to need chance. Bill says so. Samba me at 2020, and I'm winning. How dare you say this? When you campaign out there, when any message, what is our message? You bring say, oh, and I'm a hammer, and your old wine in new bottle. I'll tell you are sick without any apology to anybody. When you're sick, change your direction. And send you my MPP for Mukika. And one more, you move it to Mufu to ye Mante. And no, Nanubino, not the Yatia, and said, almost then. At the time, the economy was taking a nosedive. The Anamo can, said, and no Bakuna Namutu. Metnor TV station, you catch them, say, Sa and no way, Munya to Mustati ya no mayor. Russia Ukraine more no mutu auto 10 a base. Russia Ukraine war. Russia Ukraine war. Nebisaba. Russia Ukraine war. Russia Ukraine war. Nebisaba. Russia Ukraine war. Russia Ukraine war. Russia mutu sanway across and continue. Nina against the back of what? Economy taking nosedive. Mama Ghana for whom how reckless, repugnant, and unnecessary expenditure na mo yeno. I catch him some munyano, Muntie, and then the economy jelly beach. So, a foot to man fine yeshi. Muta Russia Ukraine war, chorus is here, yet Bibi Basa, and a Mudimuni see IMF. Now, we are here and say Wednesday, the first trench of the IMF Sikano Eba. Folks, let's make a deep analysis here. $3 billion na year kwa jiwa IMF no. It is not on my table so to discuss. Any me paper so, but I can just off my head say this my viewers and listeners. Now one can say, you radius make okay. I try to make okay the income. $3 billion na woka no. You have that money twice, thrice, 10 times $3 billion. billion sitting here in Ghana here. Are we dumb? Over $3 billion Etisa Asasiwe, Ghana, located in the middle, the epicenter of the world. Now, Kupon Ghana and Pinform of non Kakam. So, okay, number for dear. Among we, Etsy, the epicenter of the global space. Ebium, the resources na yewo menu hano, o quantify ni na. Na meba, in a him box site in Kwesi Hono. Can give this country in a rough estimation of saying $250 billion. Hey, damn. Professor Mills' time, we see Professor Mills' time, so you are saying $3 billion Murefi from the Chinese exim, but the same Chinese if one yeko jinawa yeko srawomo yeko sre ma Paris club na edi esikana acheyenum. The same place oh. Professor Mills in the late, Professor Mills, you could $3 billion from the Chinese Exim Bank. Nina Korea is a by 1.5 nearby against the back of transporting more than 13 barrels of crude oil to the Chinese government. Meanwhile, now you was saying more than $3 billion at Ghana. Nyansa eni hunti. Lack of knowledge in tea. Lack of nimdienti, lack of prudent economic management in tea, lack of self-reliance in tea as a champion catcheramo, lack of there local indigenization in tea. Nina boye kwa a boye. Nina ya soria, ne ya may plate so ye chia this and the SS Ramanone. At the DNA had gone and been for. And the NDP going forward, mom. There are some what else say. Sa campaign na Masha says, oh, Muhammad or knew the old wine and dear no. Look, you better stop it. You better stop it. Now when you are so on your mistake, near says Sankofa Yechi. There why me area said Nyanseni, there why mistake, no huni mistake. No admit say I deal with my young from so, no be ni penim, no be catch us I deal with my young from so na mama Quenya, na mensana minye no why na Yakupon Ochi. Yet two way. Your tea, your fum your fum your girlfriends, your fum you kunum, your fum ubia. The old yan is a uria, oko pacho, and was say take care for. Yes, sir. Sano Yankupon yen. And I Yankupon yen is there into young from zone anymore. No more Yankupon crown, ye 2 mira, Basaya don't kuta to me now, no say, ye couldn't anymore. Yes, sir, on the facture, Sam Makuma saying 77 times, baby. How much more young? And it is a Mahama catcher say, and then Oba, and you be to say, as Gratian and Nasefu Nano, yen you too. Obama ministers Nina sign a bomb and sana. Now, so I can't answer me enough on 1 year's Gratian, and let's see who said, we the fourth estate of the realm and gatekeepers will take Mahama by his word and make sure say we'll measure him and ensure he does it and does it right. What it means is that with this in Kwano, Mahama can't send back a campaign message. Atoni Pebi to himself, we are looking forward to this. What about the NPP? And if I'm catching say, yeah, train and we be mu candidates near share. And it is analysis na mo yes oh, and Mahama no buy no yes oh, Mahama wabe we be pay, and it's dear na Mahama odeba. In the first place, Nipana catch up and from soba na memwodum na even with the NPP motia kunda way. The last time you be analysis 2 weeks ago. Yet all the presidents are maba. You be catch them. Why and not buying corruption pa akoswo? And I'm refi. Samoya popular request you be send diaba. Mummy someone say why and not buying na corruption wumu pa. We ended up knowing say right from Rawlings, Kufuor, Atta Mills, John Mahama, Akufo-Addo. It was Akufo-Addo's government which is still in power and has scored the highest from 0 to 102. And I'm refi. Ubi a won't share no Hot TV or YouTube na kokoye. The massive corruption are rocking this nation. You kind from 0 to 102 massive corrupt scandals ever hit this republic in the era of the current president Kwaku Annan, which is which. It is a more yes analysis na dia target Mahama emwamo. Mun free ho change your style. Monsesa because moon free hono other than that no obi beka say na MPP for ade amoma ye krai we no de ye huni wo say wo sign the break 8 na why na say wo bodam wo beka cho say de ye hu nti no be ma kwam we break 8 why break the 8 enti sansem no as say MPP for mujai me eya futo na me de ma mo fa he because here afuto e de ma MPL mo de na de na mo kra mo de nipa ye den. Enti going forward na me person mo ti ase say you cannot take Ghanaians for granted any longer. Stop it. Munya sa and some full business are useless campaigns are no. Mutimi nada nipa dwenesa. Hwe nipa ene every now and then. Ha shepa mo commit to suicide. Anya kra this weeki ebe ka ho a. Yenya about 2 suicide eyi anamebwa. What is going on? Men can say suicide be ankoso na no bi, but it tells you say the economic hardship continue to increase day by day. Na no mu nwie e me yen sanfa nkonko hye Russia-Ukraine war na mo to chorus Russia-Ukraine war ning ngwasi asem bi sa ne you better stop it. Enti send this phone koyi mahama asem a mo be ka to Ghana for ni trim no enya ba asem mo be discourage Ghana for say oh and Muhammad there please stop it and yes be bien no e say obi ayem fun so a ontimi nko ensa ma emeka na se we grade meeting dia mo ye no 12th century politics na mo ye so useless and it's so repugnant. 12th century na na yes our politics no mwaka sa monhwe mo anim na mon kan tire Ghana for kwedu ahodo sen na mo de ball former president Mahama kwedu ododo sen me nkan kire mo but sa kwedu no mo de ball Mahama constitution nature say president no betra kunwa mu after 3 years na betumi na kokko emunya na mo de Mahama kokko me bisa mo emunya hene na mo de former president Mahama mo de na kokko ye ka say ye di na so which of them how many crime and ye kan ho asem a motimi e de former president Mahama akokko yet mo kamani na no eto Ghana for no etrimu say fa hasena ensem bebre how many when timi anya hwe banking sector ya mo kan wasa Mahama kan yes Mahama time or the sikebi komoma banks for be Capital Bank UT Bank and them ade but mo buy mo be collapse our banks and am so motimi ayden at the 26 billion Ghana cedis. Listen to me here, MPP. More the 26 billion Ghana cedis. And I'm more the Aquacoshare Bank anymore as a debea, as a rescue mission. Me what? And I'm the Aquashe. Nipa do saying, and no more Romanza Comisika. That is up to moi de Mobem. Inzino, yet, train Muyimu, more candidates in one. Let us say, yet Nino, I up to said, said to up next. The investigative terrorists Aremi Anas at Crossroads in a landmark case. All these and more coming up shortly. This is Ghana Speaks with Kwaku Annan. Stick and stay. I'll be right back. Great, welcome back. This is Ghana Speaks with Kwaku Annan. In an unrelated development, the investigative journalist Aremi Anas has suffered yet another heavy blow against the back of trespassing into a land belonging to a businessman, Adolf Tete in Chadu, in the East La Dadekotopon, in the Greater Accra. It was therefore a same way Abama Emun Semno, Ehuye, na Dodoanwa na Mse Mate Batmonte, but a hot TV no, Moamunitia. A ba Anas Hun Semedia, your reliable news source, Ahana Betinina. Asemina, they say. Abrantie ora Anas are emeyaw Anas enche bia eno ne Kennedy Kwame Japan semi ekuku wie ne se de describing one enye descriptive papa ense se de tuni paso ebusiafo court wo memu etinya to abrantie din se we tutrafo ye nsem ne bebre mu na mu eno anso ho na mo be kai se ifidie isu ya na mebe ka kire mo say there is another landmark case Anas obe suffer enche wodi ni na to nchen a ubi a we follow Kwaku Annan bia nim say ma bo Anas kwadu severally overly about Nensas semwa and also ode nkrofo ayden afafa so a ni na no na ye investigating. The Hot TV can confirm and place on record that the case earlier was under our investigations. Severally, we tried to speak to Anas Aremi Anas to clarify his entitlement and documents, but he declined. Sasa si ho asem America ya sisi and no court erulia judgment ni judgment ni. Hawk investigations ejuma. Ye the case we Ebrand say ye investigating. Ampanso ye investigate ye pa and e dey ko we court. Ebra ye investigation ye ya say ye bema Anas. Enya no hontia say omra na yentimi ene ni nim komo. Ye nhwe say sasa no. Me title kura no ene ne document no we. Anas imwa. Today, an Accra High Court of Justice Land Division 10 held on Thursday, the 4th day May 2023, before His Lordship Justice Kwame Jemfi Osei descended heavily his judgment over the landmark case. Shall we read some portions of the judgment? Emma Birana Munte. Now, Asemi Ekoku Pie Court, Emma Chese judge, you know. Another case and also you bugu Anas so basa Chese Areme yaw Anas oni baby ejina na kwasem ni Iran eye ahmete na sabri no baby a Anas wo bia no wo bompaya na wabobi e de amano me de me nka se Kwaku mene no won to kwa bi nti Anas baby eduru de me kura se mi jai because the eba no enye papa. Apart from this case, me mami binzua ono so Anas ko attack no during the number 12 expose mokai no yet more sports council I am mami Frederica nipa bebre enne mami Frederica so case no so ye de court in Ashanti region court abosa case negu say Anas ni kwan say say na oyeden o attack mami no Emma Maker say Ghana Sports Authority for Enswa Trokrata mini permission, but your Trokrata as Alkrata no Womodia Brema me say uni for baby into as a say Sports Authority or Sports Council Authority for as a say woman ne trase ne ni siko ni diabe yo ni nara yedini na as a man back. This is yet a third issue a wiki and also abekan and in some yenu we nyano Ricky and Nina better for more. I'm a Frederica. Yama we free more. But I can say that and also your investigation and you room one. So our case in this year now, Mammy Frederica lost her mother. And then the court has seen ruling case wins. The moment there, and so someone near the boat and ask square, you know, Iran. Yanya mistake. Ayan office Jamani Medjuma. Myself and my team here. We are so dedicated. We have a very hard work, dedicated officers here. And Nokedri, Director of Operations and also in charge of production, Kofi Ansan, great guys. Emma, very powerful production runner, will not allow me to do that, make a mistake. I'm a baby presentation, no. We are selfless people. You have time to investigate into issues. Anas won't ask him, Emu Biere knew Anas, Baba catcher Ghana for say, or no on fan of one jeans as the same, but any Ghana for documents in the way. As I said, once semi new. When was it when you make was or Koji Roman for us? I say, what could you do? Penny for baby, say Nipo, it's so more Becassa or Menwa, and Sasia Anas, Are and Mayao, Adji Free Crawford, including my finance minister. Senate sister was an idiom. All of them have to speak one day. Now, young kind, mean to me, kind in but me, you 1-2 leaflets, me a kind. Now, a mamma the import of wire, a semi, a yede, a cocoa, a D court, Emma court, a Jinaswa court, and a boo, a semi guanas, so tantanta yo. Now, moving with your court today, and Nas Drea on this case. Ghana speaks, stick and stay. I'll be right back. Me, I could document it. Great, welcome back. This is Ghana Speaks with Kwaku Annan. And of course, you court documenting them. They said your court is the council. And the Memphis said, case we Adolf Tete AJ ono a plaintiff. Adolf Tete no the case he court. And when him na defendants Anas Aremeyaw Anas any Holikwe woman no me defendants pato re enini kana for mo here one can James ko na di atro enini o afiye hwa asem we see. Or see the case of the plaintiff, not just said there are some not the court, not some near became. Or see the case of the plaintiff briefly, in that in 2013 he took a leasehold for a period of 54 years from his lessor. The Hillviews Development Limited shall be referred as LHDL subsequently. He got same registered and was issued with land title certificates numbers 46455 by the Lands Commission. LHDL took its grants in 2007 from the East Dadekotopon Development Trust, hereafter shall be referred to as EDDT, who had registered its interests in 2007 and issued with land title certificates number GA 26393. The EDDT had also registered its trust land, which includes the disputed land, and had been issued with land title certificates number GA 19310 and land title certificates number GA 25462. The plaintiff claims the disputed land which he owns is covered by the title certificates of his lessor LHDL and head lessor EDDT. It's his case that after the acquisition he exercised acts of ownership over the said land until the first defendant trespassed into his land. First defendant in Anas Arami Anas. Or say, despite his open protestations, the first defendant, with the aid of police and land guards, built day and night on his land. Unable to get the police to intervene, he has turned to this court praying for the following reliefs. Enti nipa no dey asem ne court or say court enye dem ma no, but nipa na asem kan na mo kire say Anas e the land guard for any police for ne pass ase ne so anapa wiane anadwo gidi nsuo to nyina no mo kire mi say tata emirika to e no mo di si dan wate the beka we kire me interview on Anas e boss audio no kire mo o say me enti Ghana police for mo say mo ankasa mo sign bedane nkoa e san so ye land guard e the man Anas even though no sign so the land guard for ne pass ase so. Now the odi asemi call no o say court in ye dem man yen kenkan A. Declaration of title to all that piece of parcel of land in extent 2 acres and then 0.81 hectare, more or less, and bounded on the northeast by land measuring 267.4 feet more or less, and on the southeast by proposed road measuring 294.6 feet more or less, on the southwest by land measuring 296.9 feet more or less, on the northwest by land measuring 298.3 feet more or less, and situate at East La Dadekotopon in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana. B. Damages for trespass to plaintiff's land described above. C. Recovery of possession of the plaintiff's land aforesaid. D. Perpetual injunction against the defendants, their servants, agents, assigns, workmen, and all those claiming through them from entering onto the subject land and carrying out any construction works on same or interfering with the subject land in any manner whatsoever, or disturbing the plaintiff's peaceful occupation and possession of same. E. Cost. F. Any other reliefs that this honorable court may deem it fit. So, into the order court any na said court any then entry damage Emma Anas are emeyaw Anas na Anas yen sign so empam nim free assassin so na fi so one ne surrogate ni agent for a wo di agro asase so na yempa mo nyina ebiom bibia Anas esi e wa asase so na so ye den yemubu ni na Iran asame nye isi sawo yemubu bibia na den e na judge no oyeye in respect of their enipe ye Adolf Tete or they call court say court in Yamano Diana court a year shasem isi wa now oba a year judgment in one now motion so we and yet to say ruling no this is a judgment Justice Kwame Jemfi or say judgment or the two hunium now you're making kayen yen share assembly be a copy me or say whose case is more probable. Also, it goes without saying that the plaintiff's case is more probable against the first defendant's case. First defendant, Anas. That means Anas, we didn't Google. Also, the trespass onto the plaintiffs is an attempt by the said family to have a third bite at the cherry. The first defendant, it appears, is being used as a proxy in that enterprise, and that would not be tolerated. On the totality of the evidence adduced before me, I hold that the plaintiff is entitled to all the reliefs he prayed for. Did you hear that? Judge ne person said the plaintiff ne request is on yamanina so yenina because we deep him. Plaintiff in relief quotes A unquote claims declaration of title to the land which was in issue. The plaintiff has demonstrated that his head lessor and sub-lessor have the legal right to the said land, and so same succeeds. Relief, quotes, B, unquote, is for damages for trespass. From the evidence, the plaintiff was in possession of the land until the first defendant blazingly entered same and started construction day and night with the help of the police and land guards. The structures he erected on the land is clearly unauthorized. Any prudent purchaser is required to do due diligence before acquisition, but in this case, the first defendants from the evidence did none. He entered the land and erected a signpost on the land with the inscription, quote, Tiger Eye, keep off, unquote. So Anas here you. Anas quote now as NOCCC signboard near the main natural and Odiko ho. Odiko CC ho no and or church so say I weigh a Tiger Eye property into Ubianya den in free so na onye den onko. Say na Anas quote church this is not the judge because say when application was brought to join, quote, Tiger IPI, unquote, to this suit, he resisted claiming the said entity has no interest in the land. Not just an answer, but also said, after Tiger I need onka asasina watch until Tiger I know a separate entity. But look at the Anas here. Who work with Trotro? Tiger Eye's property, anyway, quote, or say Tiger Eye, or say Tiger Eye, keep off, unquote, and what church, and what signboard, so now the Ekusi as Tiger Eye property to be and keep you off. Ain't you judge, you know, Ebisan say, there be wait a minute. What the Tiger Eye, you know, as an organization, what the inscription they could see was a property of Tiger Eye in Timobia Maho. But when the judge in the person or the Tiger Eye, the flat and us no bob charge. And an ask to me because no. After Tiger and the separate entity away in it. So into the Tiger and a Kwaku name now will be. So Bonia Aremi Anas who do we are saying. And this is how Anas does his work. The piano is a sword deep at to Nipaso. But Mom said, Sani we are seeing a coupon goo in Mwasa Ugufa. Now, also when an application was brought to join quote Tiger IPI unquote to this suit, he resisted, claiming the said entity has no interest in the land. His claim to the disputed land has no basis in law, and in fact, trespass is an injury against possession. Hence, the first defendant is liable. In trespass, damages are at large, and there would be the need to award damages to commensurate with the circumstance of this case. Atija Tihe, or see the case, Birim Wood Complex versus Andreas Becho, GmbH and Co. KG 2016-2017. 1 GLR194 case no. Also, the plaintiff in his evidence has intimated that these unauthorized structures ought to be demolished by the first defendants and the debris removed, or the first defendants be made to bear the cost of that exercise. In considering the issue of damages, I think this should be factored in. Also, it will be better if the later prayer is granted. Taking judicial notice of recent hike in goods and services, there would be the need for the plaintiff to be awarded a fair amount to enable him remove the structures on his land. Relief B also succeed. It's not just say, dear, and Yame could run and say, Anas Arami Anas. Mobekaya, me video be tremo. Anas is warehouse. Kessie, it was us, I see this one. We catch him some more in the warehouse. Iran and one some and them okay. Now, also relief C, D, and E should also succeed on the strength of evidence led. Conclusion orders. Conclusion orders. Yenja someone judge in a kanya or they conclude here. Was our case. Nti uni baby anas wa esramo munya na dom na bibi edru na mu odne ye hwe judge the conclusion. Or say 1, I declare the plaintiff as the owner of all that piece or parcel of land in extent 2 acres and 0.81 hectare, more or less, and bounded on the northeast by land measuring 267.4 feet, more or less, and on the southeast by a proposed road measuring 294.6 feet, more or less, on the southwest by land measuring 296.9 feet, more or less, on the northwest by land measuring 298.3 feet, more or less, and situate at Isla Dadikoto in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana. Judge ni eruli say adolf tete enedia onkofa. Number 2, I award 60,000 Ghana cedis as a general damages for trespass against the first defendant. First defendant and wine Anas, Anas. And a judge now award the cost Anan. Or say I grant the plaintiff. Number 3, I grant the plaintiff possession of all that piece or parcel of land in extent 2 acres and 0.81 hectare, more or less, and bounded on the northeast by land measuring 267.4 feet, more or less, and on the southeast by proposed road measuring 294.6 feet, more or less, on the southwest by land measuring 296.9 feet, more or less, on the northwest by land measuring 298.3 or less, and situate at Isla Dadikoto in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana. Number 4, or say I perpetually restrain the first defendant, his servants, agents, assigns, workmen, and all those claiming through him from entering, carrying out any construction works on interfering with all that piece or parcel of land in extent, the 2 acres or 0.81 hectare or more or less, bounded on the northeast by land measuring 267.4 feet or more. Intimi narano judge na ayeden wa restraining Anas aremi Anas say ontimi enko asasene so biom enko nkoye hwe ewo ho biom na yenhwe he. Or say number 5, I award cost of 40,000 Ghana cedis against the first defendant. Anas Biom, they are saying awarded another 40,000 cost at their money bill. Number 6, which is the last. I'll say, I dismiss the entire counterclaim of the first defendant. Afi Anas counterclaim no de coin. Ya dismissing in that to me. Ntinina kupiem say afi judge no ukeka bom a na che say nina no ye be ka bom a saying 100,000 Ghana cedis. 100,000 Ghana cedis. Tete no 1 billion and a cost ya award the ama Anas are na meyaw e ka ho. Efi nina no ko wie say e de na judge ne pese oye. Finally judge ne pese o kire say asase no a Anas ekosi warehouse kakraka ewo so no esi ebubuni na enti say sike 100,000 ye gif yo no Anas bottom ne bibie ko bubudan no ne bibie so amasa plaintiff na ye adopted and so on fa bi so enye party no fe nidi omunidi no no mummo hire no omuni nye keke ka kire. I wasn't lying, no. Anas, I remember Anas, a bribi, Babontin, Bayer documentary. Kwaku Annan beji bribe. We nyano fo. A kwanya no fast word, a same crofoma, ye Babontin, ye buyer, ye benya, the test of it, obey ye kwaye documentary, Anas, oh, or coffee, chilko small, be by, oh, ye babe support to documentary, and we want to bring you something to demonstrate, say, yeah, documentary, ye perceive, back up, and one no. All because now Anas said, no, this guy Kwaku Annan is really coming to expose me. I mean, you're fast. Now, me come and see, can I family want to make change narrative? And they said, no, my command bride. Meanwhile, that was the same modus operandi. I know the year and Crawford. I said, no, wait a minute. Oh, Memma will run for your money. And Ghana for him. Nobody in this country and the 1 year dreamer way to expose all the works of Anas Anas except the Hawk investigative team. Kwaku Annan medano. Now we don't regret for this. Onyankopon adom ne insendia ye kafa areme ya ho ene bone a we dietie nipa Ghana for monka se Kwaku emu bie no awokan ne krawom ene ni ne nsasensem ne sisisem ene enioma wo ye wa bonten a emma ne krabin den ene Kwaku me na maye ne kwafo no no waye otrofo no waye ne kwafo. Well, for the purpose of clarity, the Hawk TV some time ago showed viewers a warehouse belonging to Anas Anas situated in this same chado. And it will be recalled that the Hawk TV said and maintained that the land on which the warehouse is occupying belongs to a businessman, and today marks the closure of this landmark case. The court has ordered every structure, including the warehouse, to be demolished, plus award of cost to Anas Anas to be paid to my adopted Iran. Mami info in share pictures. Mami pictures and take a look at these pictures. We at the signboard. A good one be brave. More share pictures, and then we'll share pictures and video to us. And this is the warehouse. See what kakraka na me ka kire mo so say ebusuafo onyankopon ya adom no mo bubu warehouse no so a.
This is Air Force 2 TV, beauty within perfection.